For decades, companies like Tower Systems have been saying to retailers, data is critical, accurate stock on hand data, accurate data from invoices, accurate data about products being returned to suppliers. It's all critical to run a successful retail business. We've gone on and on and on about the value of data, saying, you won't get use out of your reports like the reports I've got on the screen behind me. You won't get value out of them if your data is not accurate. And the thing is, a lot of retailers don't spend a lot of time looking at reports. Those retailers are loving AI because AI can look at the reports for them. AI can analyze the business and provide advice about the business. The thing is, the fuel for AI is business data, performance data, sales data from within your business. So if you're not accurately tracking all the stock that's coming in, all the stock you're selling, any stock you're returning to suppliers, if you're not accurately tracking that, then AI is not going to be able to help you improve your business in the way it's going to help many other retail businesses. Accurate data and timely access to data are critical points for success of AI in your business. And that's fantastic because now retailers have got a bigger motivation than ever to have accurate data. I was working with a retail business recently and we were looking at the performance of their business and the AI model was saying, certain things about the business. And it turned out their stock on hand data was wrong by about 50%. And so therefore the advice that AI was providing for particular categories of products within the business wasn't as accurate as it could have been. Now, that business can easily resolve that by doing a quick stock take and getting the stock on hand data correct, and therefore feeding AI with good information so that it can make good advice. It's not that hard, though, to have accurate data in your business. And this is where software like what we have with Tower Systems comes into play because you import your invoices from suppliers. So that gives you an accurate account of what you're bringing into the business. You track all your sales by scanning everything that you sell. That maintains an accurate count. And then every so often you can do spot stock takes of parts of the shop, or you can do an entire stock take, whatever you prefer for your type of business and the nature of the customer flow within the business. And stock takes are usually quite okay within many retail settings. The critical thing is if you've got accurate stock on hand data in your software, if you've got accurate sales data in your software, and you feed all of that into whatever AI platform you're using, or if you're using the Tower software, it's being fed into the AI models that are embedded within the software, then you can rely on the AI tools to give you more useful and valuable advice about the running of your business. It's interesting when I look back over the decades of saying to retailers, good data is critical. Good data is like the river of gold in a business. And, in hindsight, a lot of that wasn't listened to. And I think it wasn't listened to in part because the motivation for retailers, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow was an accurate report. And an accurate report for a lot of retailers is work. They have to read the report and try and understand the report, or they have to take action or figure out what action to take from reading the report. In this moment, with the embedded AI tools in our software and with AI tools that retailers can use externally, AI does that for you. It reads the reports. It says, here are next steps based on the data. So AI is relying on accurate data about your business. So the motivation and the benefit that flows from having accurate data, the motivation to have accurate data, benefit that flows from accurate data is greater than it's ever been for small business retail. Retailers with accurate data are going to get far more value out of AI tools. Retailers with inaccurate data are going to get less value, possibly no value at all, out of AI tools. So you've got to think about the data within your business, stock that's coming in, stock you're selling, that stock movement. You've got to think about that as knowledge and knowledge that you're feeding into the AI models. And so here we are in 2026. Finally, we've got a good business case for accurate data in local small business retail. That's critical. In software like ours, we make it very, very easy. Importing stock files, tracking sales, tracking anything you're returning to suppliers. Make it really, really easy for your workflow and for your business processes. And the pot of gold for you at the end of that rainbow is going to be far more valuable AI insights from within our software and AI insights that you might gain externally from other AI platforms that you happen to use. But it does come back to data. These reports, they're interesting. They're interesting to look at, but I think reports like this are going to end up being replaced entirely by AI-driven advice. And that's exciting. But that advice is only good if your data is accurate. And that's where we come back to. Accurate data, here we are in 2026, is more important in your business than it's ever been at any time in the past because things have sped up. We're making decisions faster. AI is driving that in all sorts of businesses. And if you want to be competitive, you've got to be making decisions faster as well. And that relies on accurate data. So make sure your data is accurate, track everything that comes in and goes out, and train your staff on the proper tools to ensure that accurate data is maintained in your business. And if you don't have a current stock take, start there. It's simple, it's easy, and it produces an accurate value and an accurate count of all of the stock you have in your business. That's the starting point. If you don't have a current accurate stock take, that's the first thing that I would do because the AI tools you're using are going to rely on that to enable them to provide better advice. So we're in a moment of greater value from accurate data, and AI is going to thank you for that. Thanks for watching.